again everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beards and Board Games with me, Georgie. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Settlers of Catan. Now, if you haven't heard of this game, where have you been, to be honest? I mean, the game's been out since 1995, plays from 3 to 4 players, says 60 minutes on the box. I would say closer to an hour and a half, 2 hours, but you know how these box timings are never really right anyway. Artwork's really great. As you can see, it's won a ton of awards. There's a ton of expansions out for it. Also quite a few different variations of the game and different, what's the word I'm looking for, genres of the game. I guess I could use one to describe it. Like there's a Star Trek Catan. The game itself is, the popularity of it is so high. I mean, you can basically pick it up in any of any game store across the UK and in America. Basically anywhere you can find Monopoly, you can find Catan. So anyway, let's go and have a look at Settlers of Catan. So everyone, this is the basic setup for a 3-player game of Catan. As you can see, all the hexes have a different pattern on them. The pattern relates to the resource that hex will distribute on each player's turn. So you'll also notice that there's a number on each hex. That number will be the number that produces. Sorry, that'll be determined by the dice roll, and the number that matches the dice roll is the hexes that produce the resources of the type of hex that it is. At the start of the game, each player will put 2 settlements and 2 roads down. The point for putting roads down is so that you can connect settlements to other settlements, and also so that you can have a longest road in the long run. So the way that each player's turn would go is at the start of the game, everyone, well, you get to roll dice. So what's that, 11? So, oh, what do you know, the 2 11s are on the same. So this hex, this green one, means sheep. So orange would get sheep because that's adjacent, and blue would get sheep because he's adjacent there too. Now, the other ones are, this would give you bricks, this would give you wheat, this would give you wood, and this would give you ore. Now, the point in gaining the resources, I hear you say, is so that you can build more roads. And so that you can also build more settlements. Say, you could just put that one there. You can also, on your turn, once you've rolled and got settlements, you get to, like I said, you get to either build a road or build settlements, or you can also upgrade a settlement to a city. So each settlement's worth 1 point, each city is worth 2 points. Aim of the game to get to 10 victory points. If you've got 5 roads in a row, this is when these cards get involved, you would get the longest road card, which is worth 2 victory points. But the minute somebody makes a longer road than you, they get to take that away from you. So like I said, you can build roads with a certain amount of resources, you can build settlements with resources, cities with resources, and you can also buy development cards with resources. Now, if on your turn you decide to buy a development card instead of building anything, or build stuff and then buy a development card until it's the end of your go, you can get cards that are victory points, cards that are build an extra couple of roads. You can get cards that are also knight cards, which basically mean you get to move a little someone. But if you get 3 knight cards, then, or the first one with 3 knight cards, then you are the one with the largest army, and you will get 2 victory points as well. So that's the 2 alternative ways you can get victory points. As I said, don't forget it's first to 10 to win. If you find a real struggle to get resources, this can be treated as the bank. So you can, like a normal bank, get completely ripped off and trade 4 of the same resource for 1 of the resources that you're after, unless you have a spot at one of the trading spots or harbours. Then like this one, it's got a picture of wood and it says 2 to 1, so that means you can trade 2 wood for 1 of anything from the bank. So you know, it's quite good to get a settlement there, but like you see, you get less chance on a dice roll for having settlements at the side, obviously. Now this little guy is the robber, so statistically the most rolled number on 2 dice is 7. If you roll a 7, nothing gives a resource, but you get to move the robber. So when you move the robber, you would say, "Oh, I don't want it to be beside any of my, you know, my things, but I would want it to be beside somebody else's." Because when you put it, say there, if somebody rolled an 8, then that hex wouldn't give resources. So basically, you're stealing from the other player. In that respect, you don't get that. Sorry, you don't get that resource instead, but you do get to steal a card from him also when you put the robber down there. I forgot to mention as well, when you have a city instead of a settlement, the amount of resources that gets distributed to you is doubled. And that's really about it as far as the sort of rules and the gameplay goes. Doesn't sound like much, but well, I'll let you know what I think, but let's go to that now. So guys, what did I think of Catan overall? I think it's a really, really great game in my opinion. I do know people that don't like it as much. I think it's because it says it takes an hour. It can take about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how many people are playing and whether they're new to the game or anything like that. And also, you know, if you know, there's some game groups that just simply like to converse throughout playing games quite a lot, and that's just the way that they like to do things. But I think mainly because of the length of the game, it sometimes puts people off. Me personally, as I said, I really like it. I like getting settlements, cities, gambling and getting development cards. You know, just really, really great game for me. And the amount of expansions and variations, like I said before, it's just... you could play Catan for hours and hours and hours, and yeah, you would probably get bored, but you would still be using new systems, you know, and new mechanics if you had all the expansions. You know, that's how much it is, how much of it there is. Other than that, as I said, as I think I've said twice already, I think it's a really great game. You've been watching Beards and Board Games with me, Georgie, again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and comment and also subscribe. Have a nice day, guys.